Hi everyone and welcome to our product webinar. I'm Hayley, Head of Partnerships, and I'm joined today by John, our Head of Product, and Amanda, our Product Owner. And just change the slide for me, John. Thank you. So on today's agenda, we have our live roadmap, JSON API documentation, our JSON market cache live pricing. We're going to show all available cabins for NCL, RCCL, and Celebrity, our new hotel journey, including checkout pages and basket designs, CRM inquiries, and a demonstration of our new quote documentation. The webinar is being recorded today, and it will be shared by myself following the webinar. But if you do have any questions as we go along, please add them to the Q&A function at the bottom of your screens. We'll, of course, cover any questions at the end of the webinar. If you do have any feedback, please, or you'd like a direct run through of any of the topics covered today, please send an email to product@traveltek.net or myself. But for now, I'm going to hand over to you, John. Thank you.
Thank you. You can hear me loud and clear. All good?
All good.
Right, nice one. Hello, good afternoon, everybody. Happy Monday. The day is well over. Well on its way to being over, so we're through the worst day of the week. Thank you for joining us on the roadmap for a little update on what we've been doing for the last quarter or so since we last had one of these. So as Hayley said, we've got a few exciting bits to show you, and we'll like some interaction along the way. So any questions you've got into the Q&A, we'll open it up right at the end. But as Hayley said, this is recorded, so if you're watching after the event, please reach out to us at product@traveltek.net, and we can answer any questions you've got. So without further ado, we'll get into it. So I just wanted to take this time just to remind everybody that the roadmap we set out to achieve in 2025 at the start of the year was to improve the quality of our core products, and that's a continuous piece of work or exercise that we're working on, and we do hope that customers are seeing that coming to fruition as the work we've been doing over the recent months. We're planning to modernize the ISL UI, and some of that is already in place with the Connect journey, and some add manual pages and ISL login pages that people are already seeing. But we've also got a lot of exciting pieces we're going to show on this webinar around the hotel journey, around checkout pages, new basket, CRM and inquiry, plus a new quotes design, which we're quite excited to show you. Really early stages of that, but we'll talk about that a bit further into the demo. And then, delivering product initiatives, and that hotel journey that we're going to show off today is part of that piece, along with the cruise and CRM and the quotes. So really excited at Traveltek to be delivering products in line with our roadmap. The roadmap is still available on ISL if you want to have a look at it. Amanda and I do allocate a period of time per week to make sure we're answering the questions that you might have. And did you know you can actually submit new ideas on there now? So if you venture to ISL and look in the products menu option, there's actually a new tab to submit new ideas. So we'd highly recommend, if you've got any ideas, to submit them in there, and we can have a look at seeing how we accommodate those for you. And then from a 2026 point of view, we will announce what is on our roadmap for then when we do our next product update towards the end of the year, primarily focused on the H1 half one for 2026. So just wanted to take the time just to remind everybody of that first of all. So let's get into it. So the first piece I want to show is our JSON API documentation update. So we've got a couple of versions of API documentation which we're looking to consolidate down into JSON, and that started with a transition of the cruise journey into JSON. And what we've effectively done, just bulleted out here. I'll throw up the new API documentation on screen in just a second. But what we've just called out a couple of bullet points just for the key changes. So it's a new standalone API documentation application built on Gitbook, which allows us to kind of use it allows us to leverage their development and their roadmap to display our API documentation. We hope that provides a better onboarding experience. It's that through the project that we've carried out the last quarter, it's allowed us to carry out a comprehensive endpoint audit and remove any endpoints that aren't working and fix those that should be working. We've carried out an exercise to show supplier functionality mapping, so documenting what is supported by who and on what part of the journey, so search, book, cancel, etc. by cruise line. We've provided enhanced code examples and error handling. There's also links to IDs for cruise lines and ships, etc., which we'll show in just a second. all things that we've been asked for a number of months prior to doing this work. And this is going to be a continuous evolution. It's not a sort of one and done, deliver and done. We will be updating our software delivery lifecycle to automatically update the API documentation, so that any changes that we make going forward are always accommodated and updated in the API docs. So benefits to you guys, we hope that will be faster integration times with clearer documentation, reduced implementation costs through that self-service guide, and we'll just show you a little snippet of how that looks in a second, and then improved integration quality via some standardized processes rather than having different look and feels through different API documentation. So just going to show you, if I just close this down for a second, let's have across here. You can still, yeah, so you can all still see that documentation. So here I am on the API documentation homepage. So it's got a nice little overview and explaining what you can do and how you can authenticate as you go across. If you kind of overview the API, how you authenticate and how you generate your token to get access. And we've got a lot of how-to guides now, which were missing before, in terms of how you actually engage with the API and get the responses and requests spun up for what you need. We've got information how we work with groups, how we work with flights, how we're getting special rates back. And then you can see here we've got different endpoints that are explained, how we're managing the basket flow and the booking flow. And this is something that we're quite pleased to be putting forward, because we recognise this was a pain point in terms of like cruise line IDs, and this is kept up to date through database updates, daily updates. So we've now got like a detailed explanation of line IDs, ship IDs, regions, ports, etc. And they can all be downloaded into CSV format. And then you can see at the top here, we've got the API reference here. We also then have a supplier capabilities matrix, which is then, oh, there you go. That Git book not showing in it. So you can see here we've got a little indicator just to see what's supported and what's not supported. Quite challenging this because we support a lot through our products. So we've got a table format here. We did kind of this debate how to show this in the best way. So any feedback people have got, if they've seen this being done in a different way, happy to see any other examples that we can learn from. You guys are our main and best source of information. We're trying to make decisions based on good data, but you can see how that comes together. So any questions you've got around the API, please reach out to us. The support team have got access to this as well. And we're actually looking to enable the AI functionality that comes with Gitbook, which allow you to actually query using a language model to actually query and ask it questions of how you behave within the API, which would be a really good resource. So that's the API documentation update. So I'll just start the slideshow again. So second product update we want to give today is on our JSON market cache, which we updated everybody on in the last product update, and that's a significant step forward for us in terms of being able to provide pricing at a market level and actually supported by when the cruise lines give us the pricing information rather than being a 24 or 48, sometimes 72-hour lag. So we've got that market cache available, and please reach out to us should you wish to do that. Raise a support ticket, and we can look at enabling that for you. So what else have we done with this? Well, we've enabled a live pricing integration, and what that means is we're able to support real-time pricing across all markets, cruise lines, not just those daily snapshots from the cruise lines themselves. So if Royal Caribbean sent 4 or 5 files per day, great. But what we've also got is we're actually engaging with all our users through all our various throughputs or product throughputs. So the iSell, APIs, websites, to actually take people's clicks and searches and cache that information and add it into this file. So it is a super powerful addition to our JSON market cache. So the system, so what we do to protect price parity or price competitiveness, if you are enabled for a specific rate that your competitor is not, what we do is we identify and validate that pricing across our customers. So if we see a replicated cost across multiple customers, we recognize it's a shared cost and we show that price within the file. Whereas if it's a unique ID or a unique code, we do not show that in the price file to protect that pricing. So customer specific live pricing takes priority, followed by validation rate. So our static pricing is the fallback, but ideally we like to say the live pricing is our priority. I'll talk about the structure in just a second, but we've effectively got a structure of cheapest section shows the best prices from the static files. We've got a live cache area and a combined pricing. So if you want to review the API and actually see that in how it looks, we'll show you in just a second. I've got a couple of screen grabs, but we do segment those prices out so you can choose which ones you want to use. We also have instant notifications through the webhook. So where a live price or a batch of live prices have been updated for a supplier, we do push those through and tell you what those prices have been, and I'll show you that again. And again, it gives you more market coverage. We've got up to 800 cruises being updated with live pricing per hour in major markets like the US. So what does that actually look like in real terms? So let me just tab along. So we've got this concept of prices, cash prices, and then cheapest. So the prices are the daily supplier flat file price effectively, and you can see that on the right hand side of that image. So you've got your cheapest inside, outside, balcony, and suite. It's a kind of standard flat file price, and it'll tell you what the price code that goes with that. Then we have a cash price section, which I'll show you in just a second, and that's our smartness going on while we're reading what you guys are doing day in, day out, and capturing that information and populating it in the file. And then we have this cheapest section, which effectively is the combined piece, which is a smart summary of the section with 3 views. So it'll show you the prices, best rates from the daily supply, the cash price, and then a combined view. So the overall best rate from both sources. So you can see the combined here, and this is that cheapest section. So actually, the outside cheapest price is from our flat file, whereas the cheapest outside is from the flat file, whereas the cheapest inside is from our cached pricing. So if you weren't taking that, you would not know that price is actually cheaper. And then you can see here it'll tell you the actual fare code and which fare code is relevant to. You can see the suite as well is from our cash pricing. So we do break that down nicely within the API and the JSON file just to explain what that is. If we just carry on through, you can see here on the cash price, this is an NCL example where you can now see all the fare codes. That's passenger 1 here, and that's the market that we're talking about. And if we open that passenger up, we can see the price and the onboard credit. It's got a full breakdown, so a non-commissionable fare, the fare type. If there are any it was quite long there, so I had to chop it so you could actually see it, and it'll tell you when it was last cached as well. So this is a file from a while ago, but you can see that was an August update that we did for that. So we feel this is a really important update. And you can see on the next page here, this is our internal documentation here where we're actually capturing the live pricing as it's happening. So you can see at 10:44 we had a load of updates, 10:07 we had a load of updates, 10:18. So continually getting updates across the world to support all the different markets as our customers and users, your users, whether they be customer users of your API or internally B2B users, are all helping to power this information. So it's a really, really rich source of data that we'd like and recommend people to start to have a look at, because it should and would, I believe, empower your either users or your websites with far more accurate pricing. So we're quite excited about that one. So please reach out to us. Any questions on that one? So that's the JSON live pricing. Okay, so the next one, Amanda's going to give us a little demo of what this looks like on our superb Cruise Connect platform. But what this is, just to give you a little idea, I know that we've tried to enable ISO Cruise Connect in a few businesses, and had a little bit of pushback, rightfully so, because we don't show all available cabins for certain cruise lines, and that's partly because just it is quite quirky in how the suppliers do it. So we've had to work with them to get that coming back. But effectively now, what you see in native, you should get in our products as well. So we've got a new deck selection feature. So we've enhanced the UI a little bit just to support the work that we've done. So you've got a new deck number filtering for easier and better cabin selection. You can do cabin filtering as well, so you can do some smart filtering, which Amanda will show you in just a second. We've by default got more deck coverage because we don't just limit ourselves to 20 cabins and what's returned. And what this has given us is supplier alignment. So it means we can show the full cabin availability from the cruise line. So I'll pass you over to Amanda, who's just coughing, so you're all right to go. So I'll stop sharing. I'll pass to Amanda.
Thank you very much, Jonathan, and good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the product webinar. So I'm going to be showing you the advanced cabin selection. So I'm just going to start right from the beginning, and I'm going to show you how we do the search to start off with. So I'm going to choose NCL for this demonstration, and I've already done my homework and I've got a date ready for you. So I'm just going to go into the next results page, and then we're going to choose the Norwegian Aqua. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you on this page, we come to the fare grid, and I'm going to choose a family inside cabin here. And I'm going to show you now where we get the cabins. So we can do filter, we can now do filter by deck, which before you just had all different decks running down. So you've got 15, 16, 11, 10, etc. with all the different cabin numbers. And then at the bottom, we have got a show more now. So it's going to allow all these cabins, available cabins, to come through to this page. But rather than do that, we've put this in. So filter by deck. So now you can see we've got the ability to filter by all these decks that return on this search. So for instance, if I filter by deck 10, then all deck 10 come back there. And then if we clear the filters, what we can do as well is we can start typing in a cabin number. So if I do 101, you can see there's quite a few that come back with 101. If you want the exact deck number, you can do 10139, and that's going to bring your deck back there as well. So it just, the usability of this now is a lot better with any that bring back quite a few decks. So that's it from me. Thank you, Jonathan.
Myself off mute does help. Right, excellent. Thank you very much, man. That's great. Okay, I'll just go back to my screen. I'm going to hand back to you in just a second, Darby, but I'll just share my screen again. Just bear with me. Let me just play screen share tennis. Okay, so we've done the demo of the cabin, which is great. So the next one is something we're again really excited to show you, is our updated hotel journey. So this isn't in ISOL just now. We've got a prototype to show you. It's something we've been talking to quite a few customers about, and we'd welcome more feedback through the source. And Amanda will talk to you about how you can contribute to that feedback. But what we're doing here is demonstrating, and it's actually it is work in progress. We're looking to launch the new hotel journey at World Travel Market which is just over a month away. So super excited about that. And we want to show you the updated journey, which is got a connect feel, and also what the checkout pages and basket are proposed to look like, which is currently going through a UX user experience phase, while we look to validate our approach and make sure it is suitable for our customers' needs. So what does that actually mean in real terms? So we've been looking to implement a new connect design on our hotel journey, which is a proven design like you see for cruise, and you'll see for the CRM and inquiry shortly. We are partnered with a fellow Juniper company called Traveltek and using their AI-powered mapping solution, which boasts more or less 100% accuracy for locations, which will significantly change how we approach mapping and searching within our hotel journey. Gone are the days of looking for, I can't remember what somebody gave an example of before, but I've done ones when you go to London and you get Stevenage coming up, or you'll do Barcelona and get Costa Dorada. So it is really like you can do Eiffel Tower, and I didn't know this, but who knew there's an Eiffel Tower in Texas? So it'll do actual it'll do real sort of, got the word, Amanda, it's the landmarks. It'll do like landmarks and points of interest for people to view. So you search Eiffel Tower, you can do sort of things like that. I'll come back and show you actually results, but we'll show you on the demo in just a second what that looks like. That will help us duplicate and get rid of our duplication of room data, of hotel data. We've got a single instance of each property, and then the room types that come back for each. We're starting off initially with 5 core suppliers in this integration. So there'll be Hotel, Bed Stuba, Beds Online, Expedia, and TBO, with that consistent user experience. We won't stop there. We will continue, but they're the 5 that we chose to go with first of all. And this update will also transition across into our JSON API documentation. So the API documentation that you've got there that we just showed before will then pivot to show hotels in it as well. So we're super excited about this. So I'm going to pass back to Amanda, who's going to give us a little demo of the prototype.
Thank you very much, Jonathan. I'm just going to share my screen now. Okay, so this is our new hotel journey prototype. It is very exciting for us all here at Traveltek as well. So I hope you guys are excited as we are. So this is the new page. You can see it's really attractive. Wish I was in that pool in the background there. So to start this search off, all we have to do, similar to iSell Connect, we just need to start typing in. So if we do PA, and then we can see it brings up Paris, it brings up Parma, and the list will be endless, but this is just the prototype. So we select Palma de Mallorca, and then we can choose our dates here. So we're going to choose the 12th of August till the 19th, and you can see we've got a little tooltip that hangs over the date selection that shows you that you are selecting 7 nights, because we did have some feedback that maybe if you've got 26 nights, etc., rather than counting all the nights on the calendar, that if we just have a tooltip and we can move that up and down, then it's going to show you how many nights are in there as well. Then we move on to the onto the guests, and we've got room 1, room 2, etc. But just for this demonstration, we are just keeping it to the 1 room for 2 adults. So if I go across now and select search, you can see now this is an absolutely amazing design. You can see in the background here, there's a picture of Parma. And you can see here we can do sort by ascending, and there will be some other sort bys in there as well. The price, we can do total price, or we can do a per person price, so we can toggle this one on and off, so whichever works for you guys. And then we've got some filters down here as well, so we can do holiday price, star ratings, board basis, resorts, suppliers, holiday type, you know, maybe you just want adult only or good for families, refundable or non-refundable, the amenities, points of interest, etc. And then on this view as well, we can also view it in a slightly card format where we've got 3 across the screen there. And as we just scroll down, we get all those. And you can see here on these formats, you could have the potential to do in your preferred partners. And then you could also see down here that we, at this stage of the search, we're showing you the suppliers as well. So on this prototype, we've got the Stuba, TBO, Beds Online, etc. And then also we've got a map view as well. So you can see here, we've got the map view and we've got Parma. And then we're going to have this where you can click in and click on the little image here, and you can see here the whereabouts the hotel that potentially you're looking at is as well. So just back to this view, and I am going to go through and select this one. So on this next page, it's all about the hotel that you've selected. We've got the amazing images here for you as well that you can scroll through, and any amenities, and there will be a full list of any amenities there as well. You get your hotel overview. You've also got room selections, which you can filter. So you can filter by board, room name, cancellation, whether it's refundable, etc. You can do it by the supplier. And this is how this now looks. So you can see here your current selection is £2,400, and that is for bed and breakfast. And that's this one here with Stuba. But you can see here the other suppliers. So you've got TBO, you've got Expedia, and then you can see here, this is just for demonstration purposes. But if you was to select this one, it'd be £125 more than your 2,400 that you already have selected. And you can also see here, this one's got free cancellation. This one here is non-refundable. So you can also have that on a slightly different view as well, which is, I'll just scroll down so you can see it underneath each other rather than side by side. So again, another great view for you to go through. So you can see here, you know, everything is there for you, half board, full board, all inclusive, etc. So that's again a really good win for us on that one. And then if we just continue, we've got this basket overview here that now pops up, shows you what you've got in your basket. And then from here, I'm just going to click down out of that one there as well. And then just come down to this where we've got the hotel details. So you've got your hotel details, can tell you some details about rooms, dining, other amenities, etc. We've got the important information section here. This is where any erratas, etc. will go in this area. And then we've got a lovely map here, so about this area. So if there is anything that you'd probably, you know, whether it's near the beach, etc., you can see, you know, how far away from the beach or, you know, other points of interest the hotel potentially is on that one. So I'm just going to go and continue on this one and go to the next page, which is the checkout pages. The checkout pages are new, so they are in UX at the minute. So we are in the UX stage of these at the minute. We are taking some feedback as well on these ones. So you can see here in this summary, just for this purpose, we've added a few more items to the basket as well. So we've got your hotel that was already chosen, and then as you go down, you can see there's a flight in the basket as well, and there's the potential for optional extras for your seating, baggage, etc. Then we've popped a cruise in there as well, so Royal Caribbean cruise with all these nice pictures and a private transfer in there as well. However, we do have the ability on this page to do change view. So if you don't want all the pictures and you just want a straight list of everything that you've popped into your basket, then we can do that as well. Within this change view as well, I think there may be some commissions, agent commissions that may pop into this side of it as well. So we'll potentially hide them from here, but we can put them in this bit as well. So you've got all your basket reference, etc. here. And then if you did want to potentially change something, so you want to delete maybe the hotel out of here, you can press either the delete or the edit button, and then you'll see this little pop-up here where you say, are you sure you want to remove this item from your basket? So again, some great additions on this basket page for you as well. I'm just going to move on to the passenger details screen. So you can see here in the guest allocation, we can do something here that is probably quite useful to you all. So we've got the ability to assign rooms per passenger. So for this demonstration now, we've got a all-inclusive double room, and we've also got a room only double as well. So you would start off by putting the passenger contact details in. We do have the ability as well here to click this button, and this will then copy everything that you've entered above into the lead passenger details. So on this one, I'm just going to press the lead guess and I'm going to show you where we can start assigning rooms. So on this one, I'm going to say that passenger one, our lead passenger, is all inclusive in a double room. So you can see that that moves over to this section here. And then just for the purposes, so I don't have to go through all the passengers, I'm just going to click into passenger 4 and scroll down to passenger 4, and I'm going to allocate our passenger 4 into the only room that's left now, which is room only. So it means you can't over allocate your rooms either. So you can see up here there's Mr. and Mrs. Smith, they're in the all-inclusive double, and then Mr. Jones is just waiting hopefully for Mrs. Jones to be allocated to the room only double. So you can click on that there, and you can see that all the rooms are now allocated. So as I continue on from here, we can go to the next screen, and the next screen is continue to payment, and this is now where you would then continue to the payment screen and make that payment. And that's it from me. Thank you very much. And I hope you've all enjoyed that as much as I have. Thank you.
Yes, Amanda, well done. Just remind me, from a feedback point of view, we're going to summarise that at the end, or do you just want to talk about that now? Where we've got a couple of options for people feeding back on how it's all
Yes,
going?
so from a feedback point of view, I have links to this prototype that I've just shown to you all here. And I've also got some feedback links, which is just a short questionnaire, somewhere you can answer some questions, and some free type as well. So you can fill those in and you can help us with the feedback of this as well. So if you want to reach out to product@traveltek.net, and I can send those links over to you guys, and you can be involved. You can be as light touch as possible. And then eventually we will go into UAT as well. So if you're up for helping out with that, then absolutely amazing. Thank you.
Awesome, thank you, Amanda. Okay, so that's the demo there of the new hotel journey. So yeah, super excited about that one. As I said about timelines, looking to launch the iSell Connect version at World Travel Market with the API being a fast follower, and then we'll look to expand the supply and bring in our internal products such as Traveltek into it as well. So it's the first phase of a really exciting journey on that one. Okay, so on to where are we at now? We've got about 20 minutes left, just to allow some Q&A time, so hopefully that should be enough to get this over the line. So really excited about another initiative we've been working on, which is an updated version of our CRM and inquiries, but also a little sneaky peek of our new quotes product. So it is new, but we're moving very fast on that one. And again, there's another product that we're looking to launch at World Travel Market. The CRM inquiries is available from today. So what I'm just about to show you in this part of the demo and this part of the update, you can ask for, and we can enable it today. The quotes piece is coming in November, but we are super excited about that. We'll talk about that again just towards the end of this slide presentation. So first of all, the CRM inquiry product enhancement, what have we done? Well, we feel it's going to give you a performance boost in terms of page speed loading, because we're using our new methodology for the front end. And we've got some smart customer management, so it's automatic duplicate detection, merge functionality, and also got a WhatsApp integration. If you guys have got a WhatsApp business account, well, that was a mouthful. So I'll show you how that duplication piece works in just a second. Our new updates allow for regional localization, so it's not all forced to be UK timings and dates. So we recognise that we've got US format and different formats around the world, so that'll be picked up. We've got complete interaction timeline as well with real-time notes and attachment management. Again, I'll show you that shortly with previews. And with a modern user experience laid onto that Connect look and feel. So it's all right talking about it, but let's actually give you a little demo of what this looks like. So if you just bear with me, we'll change screens. Change screens, I just need to end this. Okay, there we go. Okay, so we can see that, I think. Just check. Yeah, you can. Okay. So this is our existing iSell homepage, which we are also hopeful to update by the end of the year. We do have a design for this, but we've got a few UX changes we want to make. So I'm not showing that on today's call, but we're keeping that one under our hat, so to speak, for the end of the year. So we have a new inquiries app, which there is a little pop-up. I've already enabled it. So if I just show you what the image looks like, it probably make more sense. So you can quickly see here, what will happen is you get a little, so Pam, I can see on the call, I've used yours, but I've chopped you out, that we can't see the customer data. So we know this is just test data. But you can see you'll get an option to try our new CRM. And you can just say later, and the pop-up will come up next time, or you can actually try it. So I've already got it running on mine. So just bear with me while I just come back to where I was. Should be back on there now. Yes, we are. Okay, so when I enable it, you can see straight away the design changes into our Connect look and feel. So we've got the navigation on the top. We can come out of it and go back into home. So just a quick overview of the dashboard. So we've got the ability to do, there's a lot of the features and functionality are exactly the same. It's just we've enhanced it, improved it, and made the UI a lot more modern and actually make more sense to a user as they're engaging with it. We've also engaged with a UK partner just to understand the key and core bits of this, recognizing that callbacks are used quite heavily, and actually a lot of the inquiry information that we previously requested was not really needed and was quite dormant. So we've stripped that right back. But I'll talk about it and let's go through it. So you can see we've got some quick links here, so we can do new inquiry, new customer, can search for a customer, we can look at the stats and the reports, and we can look at conversion reports and callback reports, see my recent inquiries, can see my recent customers, and then we can also see callbacks that we've got. So we've got a callback that's due tomorrow, and we've got one that's actually overdue. So we'll engage with that in just a minute. And from here, I can actually quit the new CRM and go back to the old look and feel. But being honest, I don't know why you would do that. If you were on the inquiries, I'll come into that in just a second, but I'm going to actually show you the merge piece first of all. So if I was coming in here and I was looking to enter a customer, so you can see straight away the UI for the customer has changed significantly. We ask for personal information here, and it'll say we'll check if a customer with the same email address or address and postcode combination already exists in our system. If a match is found, you'll be shown the existing customer details, and you can choose to merge them if so wished. So you can see you've got your personal information with the red mandatories. Email, I think we need to tweak this a little bit because that information is required to carry out the validation. Although we mark it as blue, it's like an optional field. It isn't needed, but if you wanted to carry out the validation, you need to enter that information. We can add additional information to address. We're really close to actually putting in our postcode lookup search into this. That'll be done in a couple of days. So although this is available now, we've already got a new update coming where we've got like version 0.1 where we'll actually put in the postcode lookup, which is great. So you'll be able to just type that in. And we've even got passport information which can start to be stored. You can also see here these marketing preferences are all now just toggles. You've got your source codes in here as well. This is our test platform, but we know that these can be multi-layered. I think 3 levels we can go to, and that'll all be shown on here as well. So let's just start to drop me in again as a customer, just to show you how this works. I'm just going to leave the rest of this information. Right, I'm going to put my email address in. And if I just go down, I'm going to put this just nice and easy. Right, if I go to create this customer now, you don't have to put any other information in. Put that there for to create the customer. What will happen now? It's looked and gone. It looked in our database and said actually the customer already exists. So it's actually looking. This is what you've submitted, and this is what exists. And it's showing you here that these line items are different to what you had before. So from here, you can go to the existing customer without making any changes, or you can update the existing customer with your new changes. So you can decide what you wish to do. So we feel that's a really good update that should remove that duplication pain that people have experienced in the past. So I'm just going to go back to the customer I've already created. So just to make life a little bit easier so I don't cause any problems. So here's my customer. Let's view him. We can do a new inquiry if we want to, but we'll do that from within. If I view myself, we can see we've got the marketing questions here, the customer ID, when it was created and when it was last updated. I can do a new inquiry. I can go back to the list. I've got the contact information. If I hit that button, it'll just spin up an email from your email client. And there's no point in me doing that because I'm on Outlook and it'll open in a different window, but that works. If I want to edit the details, I can do. So just click edit details, and that'll take me into the customer profile. I can make that change. So let's just change this address. Let's just do that. Come back. So you can see here, we've got the top, these view changes. So we do have an audit log now. So you can see that address was updated here. And this will carry right through to the profile as well on the customer when you make the booking as well, which we think is a great update. What we feel is a really good addition is this view companions. We've had a couple of examples where customers have got large party stag do hen dos, birthday parties, and you might have made a booking or an inquiry where you've got a lot of passengers against it. So you can view the companions that are associated to the address. So if I want to get rid of a companion, or somebody doesn't live there anymore, you can literally just hit remove, and that'll take that companion out of that list. Look at that. There you go. That's cool. That's gone. So you can see now it's gone. And that, when we transition across to making a booking, would take away the readily available customer name. So that was an ask from a customer when we were engaging about this. I can delete the customer, so if so wished. So from a GDPR point of view, that's covering us there. From a right to be forgotten, you can see all my inquiries here. I can set one of these to active. Somebody did give us a good bit of feedback when we were showing this to a customer last week. Actually, if we click on view, it should by default make the inquiry active. And then if you move to another one, it should then change it again. So we'll have a look at that and see how we answer that one. So that's something we've got back. You can see what's completed and what type of inquiry. Any customer notes that are added on, you can just add these on. So just put another note, not relevant. And then it's got a section for customer preferences as well. So this is where you might have they might like to travel to a certain car park, or book a certain car park at Liverpool Airport, or book an airport lounge when they travel, or they might have like a particular area on the plane when they're traveling. So you can enter those details in again with the customer profile. So that's like a preference selector. So that's the customer. We just look at previous inquiries. So I've got one that I've done earlier today, just testing a few things. So if we just view that inquiry, I'll do a new one in just a second, but you can see again, nice, fresh, modern UI that just makes sense, flows really nicely. Got your navigation on the top, you can go straight to travel search, you can go to bookings, it's all nicely laid out. I can mark it as completed, I can give it the reason if I want to. Here I can mark it as booked, and it'll look after all of that. Got the customer information, I can set it to active, that's that piece, it feels a little bit redundant when you're in it, so maybe we look at that. I can edit the inquiry, can schedule a callback. So if we do that, I'll take us to the callback section. So it's only me against this branch, but if you've got a branch with multiple users, you can do that. Callback do it for next week. I'm going to chase the customer up, 10 o'clock. Customer to book, that's one customer like that. It's all the same. You've got people watching, create the callback, and that'll drop on there. So we've got back to the inquiry. So it's automatically going to kick you back actually to that. And you can see down here, we've got the callbacks already set there. You can mark it to complete if you want to, or edit that callback. We can reassign the inquiry to somebody else if you've got multiple of that's going to be going on in store. We can view the customer profile. So you can see the actions are really nicely laid out in a good location. So you've got quotes here. This is one I created earlier. We can put a quick note against them if you want. You can see the timeline of everything that's been done. So you can see the actual email and the quote I sent out this morning just to test a few things. On here, so you can see all that information. So let's just go into this quote that I did earlier. It's got an attachment on it. So you can see here, it was a cruise that I did for Norwegian Cruise Line, and I'm going to show you that in just a second. It was on Connect that we did it on, so it'll tell you what search you were using, and it'll tell you that actually it was emailed as well. If I just click on the email quote, this is our email text. So this is the standard, this is what we've got today. This is our quote solution for today. So if you're not utilizing this already, I would recommend again getting in touch to see how you enable this. So on here you can see the inquiry that's relevant, the quote number and the price. We've got a trading name if that's relevant to you, contact details of the customer, you can change that information. We can take the price off if we wanted to, or hide it and manipulate it. We can show us a single package price, and that'll just, if you had a breakdown, you could remove that. I've uploaded an attachment already, so if I had multiple attachments in here, I could tick those and I'll actually show you how much you can send before the limit of 10 meg is hit, which is really beneficial because we've never done that before actually. And that's has been responsible for a lot of support tickets where quotes have been perceived not to go through. It's because the attachment size was too large. So that's been a good little fix, we feel. And down here you can see the actual inquiry that's using one of our templates. On here, again, we've got a variety of templates available. So again, contact us for that. So that's an example here, but this is kind of how easy this is to pull together. If we just go back to the inquiry here, you can just come out. Let's just do a. Let's go back. Sorry, and let's do a new inquiry. So I've done the customer. No, sorry, go back to the section to my customer. Do a new inquiry for myself. So you can see an inquiry form. We can edit the customer again. An inquiry, we've just stripped it right back. So it's far easier to put the information. So test inquiry, we'll just call that. Again, you've got inquiry type, can be standard or cruise. We can do the source codes again, and these are the sub-source codes. We just recommend that you can just keep, we actually spoke to quite a few customers, and a lot of information goes in here about the customer and what they want. So we've kind of given an example here, but if you type in here, you can just put your inquiry, it just gets rid of that straight away. So yeah, that's just stored, and any additional comments you want. So we'll create the inquiry, and that'll make it active on here. And it's not, this is the bit I want to pick up, that's where it got picked up. So we'll set that to active. So you can see that's now activated at the top here. I'm going to go into travel search. I'm going to go into ISIL Connect. So we recognise you jump in between old and new look and feel. That's going to happen over the coming months as we transition things across. So I'm just going to do an NCL cruise for September next year on our ISIL Connect platform. So we'll just search for that. Keeping an eye on the clock because I reckon I've got a little bit of time, so I'll try and get through. So just select that cruise. And we should have some fares coming back. Just give it a mix and see how we've got our most amount of fares. Got a dash sale, which seems like a new one. So I'll go on to the this conclusive. And you'll see Amanda's lovely new cabin information that we talked about before. So I'll select that cabin, and that'll put that into the basket. You can see the basket designs that's going to transition for the rest of the year and into next year. So once we added that cabin in, so you can see here, I've got 2 cruises, but you kind of got the gist of what I've just done there. So I add that to quotes now. Yeah, I'll go back into the inquiry, and if it's done that now, if I go back into full inquiry detail, that quote will be in my inquiry now. You can see down here, it's just added that information for me, so you can see. And at this point, I can add an attachment. So I'm going to put here, we can just choose files. So if you've got like, I don't know, you might want to attach something that's relevant. And you can't see this at the minute. Some picture of my damaged car in. Can give it a name. Upload. So that's just, again, an enhancement to an existing piece of functionality. It probably wasn't being as performant as we wanted. You can preview if you want to, you can download it again, and use back to your quote. And here we're talking about actually then emailing that across like we just showed you before. So just conscious of time, that's kind of like the overview of the UI from the actual dashboard point of view. I'll just do the inquiry here. You'll always have this at the top here. So the CRM, while you've got an active customer, I'm just going to leave that inquiry for now, and that'll kick me out. So that's how we get out of that. So we've got the analytics, new inquiry, and the report. So we can do sort of a callback report, which is what give us a list of reports that we've got, callbacks we've got from a period. So we can just do that from this week. Good work. So you can see my pending callbacks here. We can export that to CSV if we want to. We've got other reports in here as well. So we've got the conversion report. It'll show you a number of outstanding inquiries and bookings. You can export your customer data into a CSV format or any email lists. So again, we've got more widgets that'll be coming in terms of this as well. And then we've got some other sort of analytical widgets that you can actually see from an insights point of view, just to show callbacks and how many are overdue, etc. We've got some destination ones here as well. If I just come back out of this, just do the customer stats report. So you can see how many new customers you had existing. We go down. If you populate in all the information, the marketing preferences, this will all be displayed on this dashboard. So we hope you agree that is a real step forward in terms of what customers have been used to, and we feel is a far more user-friendly UI in terms of what the CRM and inquiry can do for you and your customers. So again, that product is available to be turned on today. So if you'd like us to enable it as default, we can turn that on for you. Even if you just did it in a couple of stores or in a couple of users, we should be able to do that for you and actually engage with you and carry that testing out. So I'll just see there's a question there. So I don't think viewing as inquiry should be set as default as you may. Yeah, good point. I could say it's not a question, it's more of a statement. I don't think that viewing an inquiry should be set as an active as default as you may just with. Do you know what? I think this is where we get into the realms of each of our customers have different ways of working. And I think it'd be great actually just to enable that as a toggle to say, it's a permission as effect. But just something somebody said, we felt, it had legs because when you're into it. So thank you for engaging with us. So that's good. So yeah, we hope you like that. There's a lot more to show on this. We're time limited, so it is difficult. Is the new in the customer CRM page, is it possible to include loyalty reward numbers? You could do that within their customer profile. So if you were doing it here, and there's no specific field for it, so we could take that as a backlog item, Amanda, I think. But you could just do that here in the actual customer preferences or customer notes. So that's stored. So that's good. Well, thank you again, Michael. That's good. Okay, so I'm just going to come out of this for now. I'm going to just jump to back to the slides here and give you a little sneaky peek just in the last few minutes we've got available of our new quotes product, which is again in Traveltek. It's something we've talked about for a long time, and we are really close to being able to actually launch something here. So what we're going to be delivering is a bolt-on product to what you've just seen. It will be a new quote. On top of the quotes tool that we've already got, this will be a new dynamic quote builder. So effectively like a visual canvas with the ability to drag in content, whether that be through our crew solution, as the content provider Traveltek that we're pairing up with, a new destination content tool that we're logging in with, or scraping URLs. It'll be branded as per customer needs. There'll be various themes, and we'll be able to change logos and colors. We'll be able to scrape websites, as I've just said. We'll be able to share that through a URL, QR code, social outlets, and you get your customer engagement analytics with that as well. And there'll be a seamless integration into our platform. So it'll sync right through with your existing profiles and right through to iBoss portfolios if you utilize that product of ours. So what does this look like? So bear with me, because this is a copy of what the product looks like. Sorry, I've just a couple of bits that we're just finishing off. So we're going to be launching this at World Travel Market, and fast followers through there will be where we'll engage and add on our content integration from cruise, being able to select high-res images and the accommodation content that I talked about. And then there's going to be an AI integration as well, where customers will be able to ask questions about, I don't know, what's the weather going to be like in the destination that's on the quote? What type of plug do I need? Can I use my mobile phone data when I'm there? So it's going to be targeted AI questions. So we're super pumped about that. So what does it look like? So I've got a recording of the version on my desktop. So I'll go through it. So you can see already straight away, you'll see the new quote button. I don't know what it might not be called new quote. We'll call it something different, but you can see here with a new quote feature here. So once you select that, if you think about this as a builder effectively, so you can still got the ability to create the customer as you would do normally. You can see that I've pre-recorded this to show myself going in. Put my email address in. I'm just a bit past that because I know where I live. Give it a title and a little description. So we check and create the quote. So straight away you got here, we can see that we found the customer. It's just showing the dedupe process through this as well. So it's got an email match. So I'm just going to blend the customers together. Just do that. Give a new inquiry. And create the quote from the selected customer. So this is where things change. So here, I'm just going to pause this. So the way this builds, if anybody's ever used like a content management system before, and again, Haley, I'm conscious of time, we've got about 5 minutes, haven't we? So you can see you'll have your travel elements on the left-hand side, your quote being built up in the middle, and then your styling on the right. So you'll be able to edit the element on the right or in the middle, choose a theme or color, and choose a layout. Some of that will be permission restricted. So an end user wouldn't get a lot of this functionality you're seeing. An end user would likely just be able to drag and drop the components in and update those and send them out. So let me just show you what I mean by that. So we've got me as a customer there. You can see everything that we just talked about before in the inquiry that I've just created. So you can see I can jump to and from that inquiry like I just did a second ago, but then let's go back into the quote here. So I'm now going to go, I've got three, so you can see I've got hotels, the components on the left, different types there, whether it be like a travel component or an image or a text or a map. So it's very much like a content management system where you've got information. We can hide that menu and bring it back. And you can see me as a customer in the middle. I can preview that quote and save it. And then you've got this bit, and I think you see the themes here. We've got different colors just out of the box. That will be styled as per your customer requirements. So where's that gone? Oh. I'm going to go through. There you go. So you've got different colors. And then we've got layouts as well. So you will be able to change the layout, but this is the bit we're going to strip back a little bit to make that more permission based. Because we feel that perhaps an end user will probably get lost with this kind of requirement to actually stipulate what column layout, whether you want three width or dual width or like a single instance. So I'm just kind of demonstrating what that looks like for you here. So on this one, I've got an example of main content, so a header section, a footer section, and some main content. Just keep going. So we just drag across a flight now into that part there. And you can see here we can start to enter the content for this information. So we can start to type in. So you can, when you're actually entering this information, you can put it in the middle or you can put it on the right hand side and it'll automatically populate here. So economy just gone in there, and British Airways will drop into here as well. It coming through, the total price will start to update. So you can see the sectors. You can see it starting to update as we go through. All this can be copied and pasted in as well. You don't have to, you can just type it in there if you want it to. You can give it a terminal, put that in there. And then we've got various other information as we go. So you can see how you're starting to build up the content that's bespoke to you. So it is a manual process right now. As I said, we're looking to do it. So if you had a Skyscanner page on, you'd be able to drop that URL in there. It would read the page and build the flight component up from that. So you can see how that starts to build out here. So just quickly move on here. You can see got different layouts again. I'm just showing, but I've added in more information. So we've got a hotel that's been added in. I can drop in different. I can pull in main content section. So main content header foot, put more information in there. I've demonstrated here we can put like a transfer. I think I drop in. And I've already put that in. So like a cruise can go in there. Or package information. So you can see how it's a drag and drop feel. I'm just going to conscious of time for a couple of questions. You'll start to build up that information, and once that is populated in this is being built right now. We weren't going to show this, but we felt it was quite exciting to actually give people a bit of a sneak peek of what this will look like. You can just effectively build up your full quote and have that ready to go and saved and styled as you require and as you're on your branding, and that could be shared out using a short URL via QR codes, via social media, and eventually we'll start to pull in our cruise content. So you just put a voice code ID, you can move things around, you can see how that's moving around. You'll have voice code, you can pull in cruise content. We'll be able to use our hotel provider Traveltek to bring in hotel content. We're going to be bringing in destination content from another partner, so you'll be able to drag in and build up effectively a full quote look and feel. We do have a design, but it's customer branded and I didn't want to bring it on this call. But please keep your eyes and ears open and watch your emails for updates on that, because we're super excited about effectively a dynamic quote builder that eventually will connect to iSell for you to be able to build a quote up in here and then hit book and it'll look off to the various components to pull those through. That's it. Back on tilt. A couple of minutes to go. We've answered a couple of questions. Hayley, is there any
I
others?
was just going to say you've answered as we've been going along, which is fantastic. Just a few questions that we've had and I've taken note of. Do we have to have the CRM, the new CRM, in order to have new quote documentation?
Yes, you do. We have to. It's a component within the iSell product, so we can enable the CRM in isolation of any searches. But yes, you would have to have our CRM to be able to take the new quote functionality.
And within the CRM, all the enhancements, all the boxes that we've just seen there, that will all come through, and will all that be available?
Yeah, it's hard to. Let me just quickly go back because you kind of didn't really get a little button move out of that. Go back a second. If you look on here, the component builder, it's quite hard to. Right, let me just stop that. We've got in the right hand side here in this column there'll be a URL link. So if you had an EasyJet page for a package, or you had a Jet2 page, or you had a Skyscanner page, you'd be able to put that URL in there and it will read the page and populate all the content for you. If it was a cruise and you knew the voyage code, you'd be able to put that in. Where we're at right now in terms of build is everything is a manual entry. So, it's probably labor intensive to build that up. However, those things are coming fast as we're building it out now. So we're just at the end of September. The engineer expects to have this, but this was last week, so it has moved on since then. and the engineer expects to have this bit done by the end of this week, and then we're going to get into the components. So we expect, actually, if we just tab on back to that previous slide of these bits here, we expect to have hopefully that, and hopefully the accommodation content prioritized and ready for world travel market. But we need to just see how we go with that, because we've got, engineering is never, or developing is never a scientific fact. We can find problems and find bumps in the road. So, but we are confident we'll have the base dynamic quote builder for world travel market, and I hope to have at least 2 or 3 of these items added onto it as well by the time we come around.
Excellent. And just to confirm that these enhancements are available for all versions for all of our existing customers. iSal, can the screen be set for users to the colourful screen versus the one with all the
I think, Pam, you mean, let me just share the screen. I think you mean, in fact, I'm already sharing it, come out of this. I think, Pam, you mean, can it be this view rather than this view? So that will, if you accept the new CRM, when you click on it, it will default that by default. Sorry, with bad English. So if you click on that, it will automatically go to the new look and feel like you have with Cruise. That's the evolution that we're on right now, trying to automatically land on new pages. But like any app, we still want to give people the option to revert and go back to the old style. So I can see on Neil's asked a similar question as well. Yes, it is available on all versions. So that will be there. So not limited to any particular instance of iSal. I know we're over by a little bit, but cheers, Pam.
Excellent. So that's all the questions. So thanks, John and Amanda. That was a great insight on the work that we have completed and what's to come. That concludes our webinar for today. So I'll share the recording with everybody. If there are any further questions or feedback, please do email product@traveltek.net or myself. But otherwise, thanks for joining and enjoy the rest of your days. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Bye.